And this is Ask the Experts, sponsored by DesertPolymerFlooring.com, your concrete coating superstore.
These are your concrete coating experts. They have the answers to take your project to the next level. Meet Charles Lascelles, an expert in concrete coatings with over 25 years of experience as an innovator in applications and an authority in polyurethanes, epoxies, metallics, and floor preparation. Charles Lascelles is an industry leader.
Welcome to Ask the Experts, where this week we're going to be talking about the Cadillac product, and I'm talking about Poly 250. Everybody talks about this. You get super excited about it.
I do.
Tell me about Poly 250, man.
I do. This acrylic urethane is a two-component powerhouse.
Yeah.
It goes on all decorative surface, direct to concrete, interior, exterior.
Wow.
It is a very versatile product. And the high solids at 38% for an acrylic urethane is nearly twice that of a single component acrylic.
Well, Chuck, being that everybody's talking about Poly 250, and you did call it the Cadillac product here.
It is.
What is so special about 250? I mean, you call it a Cadillac product for a reason.
Well, it gives exceptional gloss retention, UV stable. It is a very hard coating when it dries, and it gives excellent performance even against gasoline. And this performance is for the price point is excellent.
So when you say gasoline, you're saying like it protects against like gas spills and things like that?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
With an acrylic solvent, a single component, you'll have failure when gasoline hits it. With this two-component acrylic urethane, on the other hand, it resists that, and there's no effect with gasoline spill on that.
So you would say that's the difference between a solvent acrylic and the Poly 250?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most decorative contractors out there know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to single component acrylic lacquers. They're the wet look stuff that you see out on the market.
Right.
It just puts a shine and they walk away, but the performance of those single components are not as good as the two-part acrylic urethane, and it really outdoes it when it comes to performance in the market.
Well, there's 1,000 questions when it comes to Poly 250, and I've been a part of every single one of those questions.
Yep.
So before we really get into it, let's start off with our very first one. Where can we use Poly 250? Where are some of the places it can be used?
Well, the biggest use of Poly 250 is over decorative overlay in interiors and exterior decks.
Okay.
So when you see a simulated overlayment from a decorative concrete contractor, that's primarily where they'll use it. Where high traffic is demands are necessary.
Right.
Even vehicular traffic is going to be, someone's going to be driving on a driveway into their garage. Mm-hmm. This will hold up to all of that.
So it's going to withstand a lot of heavy, like you said, traffic, vehicles, tires, all that.
Yes, and because it is a two-component, you have that cross-link, that inner strength of that material that will perform way over that of a single component material.
How quickly does it dry?
That's a great question. The nice part about this proprietary, by the way, this proprietary chemical, is that it dries in 90 minutes from the time of application.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah, so it's very quick turnaround. Very quick turnaround on something like that.
Can I use, people ask this question all the time, can I use Poly 250 as a primer? Is that something that can be done?
Yes. In fact, Poly 250 can be used in different ways. One, it could be used as a primer coat before you put on a two-part polyaspartic, say inside of a mechanic's bay or something where or Poly 250 could be used as a tie coat. When you see an aliphatic urethane, you can have this high shine and where you have minimally profiled areas. Poly 250 is designed to be a tie coat, meaning it will bite into that by adding a quantity of acetone. Usually they require about 50% acetone to 1.5 gallons. Mm-hmm. So with that, you could go on a coating, minimally profiled, and it will bond. It has adhesion promoters in the product, and it's a proprietary chemical, and when it goes on, it bites, and it's on there. So yes, it can be used as a primer.
Now, people have always asked this question. They're always like, can I recoat with Poly 250? I've been asked that question. I don't really know the answer, so this is probably a good time to find out.
Sure.
Can you recoat, or what happens when you recoat with Poly 250?
You can recoat with Poly 250 indefinitely over itself. We always, though, recommend that they clean the surface, do a light sand before recoating any two-component materials. But Poly 250 will bond over itself with 50% acetone added to it. And so the bond is there, and you can recoat over Poly 250 with no problem.
That's awesome. What is there any preparation to putting down Poly 250?
Well, it depends on your project. There's many different projects, but if they're doing, say, an overlay and they've already put on their stain, they don't need to, that's their decorative part of their job. So they just simply go ahead and put the Poly 250, SK 250 right direct to the surface, and you're ready to go. When it comes to concrete, conventional concrete, where they just want to seal it up, they need to clean it. According to manufacturer recommendation, we highly recommend the Supercrete heavy-duty concrete cleaner, where they could scrub that into the surface, power wash that off, and the Poly 250 can go direct to concrete.
Good.
That is a good positive thing about Poly 250, where other aliphatics, they may need to have a primer coat first. So this is a excellent product going direct to concrete, conventional, decorative, even the acid stained floors. It was also developed for the acid stained floors. Why is it so?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's very important because acid, when you do an acid stained floor, you have what they call pH drifts.
Yes.
That's a high alkalinity, right?
Yep.
And it can drift. With a single component acrylic or other type of urethane that goes on, it could be a problem. It could fail. With Poly 250, it handles those pH drifts. So when for any product to choose, when you're doing an acid stained surface, Poly 250, I wouldn't recommend anything else. That's the way to go.
Well, I can understand now why it's the Cadillac, of all your other, polys. I mean, it totally makes sense. I see it now in gloss. Is that all it comes in?
No, good question. It comes in gloss and it comes in satin.
Okay.
You have two options, and they both perform the same.
Now, is there a difference? And I'm sorry for if I sound a little ignorant on this, but is there a difference between a gloss and a satin, or is there a reason for it, or does it matter? Is it a matter of taste?
It is a matter of taste.
Okay.
The customer doesn't want an ultra shine; they want a more natural look. Then the satin is the way to go. And they're still going to get the same performance with the gloss versus the satin. It's really it's a call for the customer, what they want, the high shine, or they want a little bit duller.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Is there any last things you'd like to say about Poly 250? Anything else that comes to mind that either a contractor or a customer looking for a contractor would need to know?
Well, you need to know that this is the workhorse of the decorative concrete coatings for putting a single coat application, UV stable, ready to go out of the can. It is a 2-component, 2-to-1 mixing ratio. This product really is why they call it the Cadillac product, because it's very versatile, it's a strong product, it's easy to use, and it performs excellent out in the field.
UV stable, something we hadn't mentioned before, and that's the one thing that I remember people talking about. They're always asking, is it UV stable? So let's say, yes, it is.
Yes, it's UV stable, ready to go. It'll never yellow on you. It'll stay.
Which is really important.
Yes. We have seen jobs perform 10 years ago that were done, perform fantastic with this product.
With the Poly 250.
And they look like it was just done.
That's lasting power.
That is lasting. That is lasting power.
Wow.
And we're getting reports in all the time, coming on a weekly basis. Ever since I did the 250, it lasts long. I mean, it just performs so well for the customer. And if a customer does need a recoat, they could go right back with Poly 250.
It's really good to hear something like that because, Charles here at Desert Polymer Flooring stands behind every product that he sells. And you've said it before, you guarantee your products. You stand behind everything that you sell. You have so much confidence in every one of these products that you sell. And I think that's a fantastic trait to have, because it means that not only is there confidence behind it, but you know the product so well. You've worked with it. You've laid them down. You know how they react. You know how customers react to them. So just know that when you're getting your products at Desert Polymer Flooring, know that you are getting excellent products. So, Chuck, I want to thank you again. If you want to find out more, you can come into the store. You can call the store if you want to find out about it. You can go to the website at desertpolymerflooring.com. But the Cadillac product you want to ask for is definitely Poly 250, correct?
Yeah, it is.
Awesome, man.
Awesome product.
Chuck, you are definitely the expert, and I appreciate your time, my friend.
You're welcome.